But in terms of where I am with my life outside of this, I stay rooted in my decision, and that's just what it is.
Hey, what's up, guys? Jazz Borgonzo here, another What's Next. In this video, we are going to jump back into the NBA. And of course, no, we're not going to talk about LeBron James. No, we're not going to talk about moronic coaches like Popovich and Steve Kerr, you know, with their... But they have mentioned those dirty, dirty Americans, you know, the unvaxxed. And speaking of unvaxxed, one player, well, he's not just one, he's a number of players who have stood up against the vax nonsense, the propaganda, the indoctrination of the vax because of lack of data, or shall we say overwhelming data regarding the efficacy of thereof. And that is one KYRIE Irving of the Brooklyn Nets. KYRIE Irving of the Brooklyn Nets has gotten more play. That's a play on words, of course, in regards to his status of being unvaxxed than actually being on the court. And of course, he recently just got back a few weeks ago to play because they were so short-handed regarding everybody getting the coof. The Nets said, "KYRIE, can you come back? Can you come back?" And of course, later on was, well, KYRIE Irving can come back and play the home games. He was just strictly playing the away games, but for a price. Now, of course, he was asked after one game regarding his status yet again. Let's take a look. This comes out of Outkick. KYRIE Irving strongly reiterates stance on not receiving the vaccine. KYRIE Irving is still only allowed to play in NBA games outside of Brooklyn and New York City, and from the sounds of things, the Nets star is just fine with it. Irving reaffirmed his stance, that he doesn't intend to get the vax after being pressed by the media in Cleveland this past Monday in the Nets' 114-107 loss to Cleveland. Quote, "I'm not bringing science into it," Irving said. "I'm staying rooted in what I believe in." Irving, 29, remains one of the Nets' three most important players, probably second behind forward Kevin Durant, but ahead of fellow guard James Harden. There are a few things Irving cannot do with the ball. He's a half point guard, half magician, bringing the Harlem Globetrotters' old magic tricks into the modern NBA. But he can only do that half the time. Given New York's vaccine mandate, yes, their draconian ass backwards mandate, show us your papers. So not only can he not play at home games, he can't play in road games at Madison Square Garden. He also won't be eligible to play in games at Toronto versus the Raptors. Still, Irving is determined to stick with his beliefs, what the media and even the Nets want be damned. "I'm doing what's best for me. I know the consequences here, and if it means that I am judged and demonized for it, that's just what it is," Irving said in an Instagram live post before the season. "That's the role I play, but I never wanted to give up my passion, my love, my dream just over this mandate." This comes from a blue checker. "One thing is very clear after listening to KYRIE speak post-game today. There's nothing that is going to make us change his mind regarding the vaccine. He's made up his mind. He's not going to take it. Yes, because he's a dirty, unvaxxed, unworthy American." The Nets initially announced that they would not allow Irving to play just part of the time, but given the multiple vaccinated players league-wide who got tested for the coof, the team was left with little choice. Part-time Irving is better than no Irving at all. The Nets finally seem to say. Nevertheless, Irving is sure to continue taking grief for sticking with what he believes, especially since what he believes isn't in line with the narrative the mainstream media fervently supports. Then again, a lot of players have come out in support of Irving sticking to his guns. "Extremely proud of you, bro," former NBA guard JR tweeted, tagged Irving prior to the season. Added Durant, "He's a special player and a person we want to be a part of this group, but a lot of stuff's out of our control. We'll let him figure it out for himself. But that doesn't mean I'm going to say I don't want him on the team. He's a huge part of what we do." Irving, 29, is averaging 17.7, 5 rebounds, and 3 appearances so far this season. We are going to go to this clip of Irving regarding his status.
And I'm here to support. But what's going on with me is I'm taking it one day at a time. That's it. Nothing's guaranteed in this world right now. So people are getting sick left and right. And for me, I'm just trying to be just a person that's being a beacon of hope and light, and just trying to shed as much as I can on the situation without talking myself into more BS and what's going on in this political world that we're in right now. And I just don't want to bring science into this, and it always gets wrapped up, and I'm asked questions all the time about what's my status, and I'm like, man, if you were in my position, it would be easy for someone to say, well, why don't you just get vaccinated? But you're not. And that's just the reality of it. And I've made my decision already, and I'm standing on it.
Now, I'm going to stop that there because I'm going to play this little tidbit. And this comes from the Inside the NBA crew, of course, with Charles Barkley and Shaquille O'Neal. But we're going to let this little bit play out because, once again, Barkley opens mouth, inserts leg.
Chuck, what did you say about the Nets before the game? What was your hope in terms of Kyrie Irving?
I think that he has to really consider getting the vaccine because Kevin's out a month minimum. They said 4 to 6 weeks, so if we're realistic, it's a month. And he's only playing real games. They could, how many games they play in the next
11
month?
out of 14 on the road.
This is the same Charles Barkley who said that if Kyrie really wanted to play, he's choosing to play.
They're not going to win a lot of games without Kevin.
New York kept them out and still keeps them out.
All three of those guys have to do so much of the heavy lifting. They're not good rebounding. They're not good defensively. They don't have a bench. They could lose a lot of those games with Kyrie and James Harden on the court.
The reason I asked the question, because I do remember what you said, was because Kyrie addressed that after the game tonight. And what do we have? Kyrie Irving says the Nets' injury situation won't change his vaccination status. I've made my decision already, and I'm standing on it.
Well, that's why I got a title for my book that I'm writing about here.
No, I mean,
no.
But why would you think? My question is this: why would you think that a month of like winning or losing would make him change his decision? That's something that he but meaning like he made that decision when they had a chance. Where he's like, we got a chance to win it all, and that's at the beginning. So why would he? I wouldn't expect.
This was prior to the season. He has stuck to his guns since before the season began.
I would hope he would change his mind.
As a selfish basketball fan, would I like?
No, it has nothing to do with being a basketball fan.
I'm not saying that he's. I'm not giving his vaccination stance. Or yes, do I have empathy for what he's saying and why he do I have sympathy? No, I think that we've all realized now that the vaccine is really, it's a great seatbelt. It helps all of us stay alive for longer. We realize that. But we also realize that now that
Kenny, it's called efficacy.
We can still spread the virus.
Waning efficacy.
So I understand, I have empathy for
priors,
his
comorbidities, all that has to play,
stance,
or that
expect him to
is in
change
play.
in the middle of the season, no.
My thoughts. Probably let that go a little bit longer than I normally would have. Once again, Kenny Smith makes a great point. Yes, you can make sacrifices. Yes, sacrifice A for the championship, which is a game, or B for the livelihood of yourself and for the shall we say, the peace at mind. Kyrie Irving has peace at mind. He does. His stance has never wavered. Since prior to the season, he's made it very clear. I'm not taking this vax, not because I'm anti-vax, because of the lack of data behind the vaccine. The side effects behind the vaccine. And as we see, we have more information now regarding the vaccines, all three of them, than we've ever had before. And yet, you still have those, like one Lord Fauci, running around saying, well, we are in the first stage of the pandemic. There are 5 stages, but we're still in the first. So basically, when you got Lord Farquhar, you got Dementia Boy in the White House, and the clown world still running around saying, hey, you know what? Yeah, we still need to keep you on lockdown. We need to separate the dirty unvaxxed from the wonderful vaccinated people. And of course, we just heard recently that one Stephen A. Smith of ESPNWoke, who was double, triple vaccinated, triple boost, quadruple boost, whatever boost, still got sick. And according to him, ended up in the hospital. Like I said, it hits people differently. Some people it hits like a cold, like a normal cold. 2 to 3 days, they shook it up. They shook it off, like Joe Rogan, like Aaron Rodgers. It's Kyrie Irving's choice. It's an individual choice. It's his constitutional right to make that choice. And for those like Barkley, which again, I'm still stunned, but then again, Barkley has been known to shove his leg down his throat to make the comments that, you know, that they hope they lose because of Kyrie Irving stance is ridiculous. I think it's stupid. It's ignorant. But that's Barkley. That's that knucklehead in him. And with that being said, I'm Charles Barkley. This is What's Next. Want to see more just like this? Please leave a comment below. Like it, share it, subscribe to it. And we'll catch you guys next time. Peace.